Have you ever wondered where a seed came from? For the past 15 years, I have been gifted with an opportunity to make sense of who I am and where I come from through the work that I do. I'm a community vegetable grower and an educator, and I'd like to share with you a story about this seed that I hold in my hand. This simple seed that changed my life. The journey of this seed began long before it ended up in my hands. In fact, this story began just like me in another country. This seed came over from northern Italy, deep within the pockets of a man named Salinetti, a northern Italian marble cutter who was invited to come to this country, the Berkshires even, to share his fine craft and talent with a new generation. This man, Abbondio, was young, curious, a little scared, but he was determined to grow and to change and to find his fullest potential. And by carrying this seed in his pocket, he knew that he would be able to provide food security for himself and someday perhaps for a family. And that was enough faith to go on. When Abbondio's first spring arrived, he prepared his garden bed with care. The earth was awakening. There was freshness in the air as both plant and animal emerged from a long winter slumber. Abbondio planted this seed in the soil. The soil welcomed the darkness and waited for the perfect time to emerge. Abbondio, too, had set his first roots. He had found a home and a woman that he cared for deeply. And he knew that by planting a garden and this seed, that he would be able to provide. As the warmth of summer came into the air, this plant spread its roots and then spread out up above the soil. Abbondio welcomed this growth and felt the flexibility of the leaves and the vines as it spread upward and outward into the light. Soon, there were flowers that were emerging, and Abbondio knew that it would be time for celebration. He would be able to eat these beans that he had brought over from his native country. In the fullness of summer, he gathered those beans and he pan-fried them in garlic and olive oil. And a flood of memories rushed into him from his native land and from his family. As fall settled in, he gathered these seeds, preparing for the long winter ahead. He made sure to keep a special jar aside and perpetuate their life. With the new year came the birth of his first child. And within time, he was teaching his family how to grow and tend a garden and care for the earth. And when his oldest son was ready to pass on the seeds to Abbondio's grandson, he did so with pride, knowing that his family's lineage would be contained. And when Abbondio's grandson was ready to pass on those seeds to the next generation, much to his surprise, it was his youngest son that took the most interest in these seeds. It was around this time that I first laid eyes on these seeds. It was August, and the night air was cooling, and I stood there in a garden unlike anything I had seen before. There was so much abundance around me. And I stood there with the man who was to become my husband and my partner and my best friend. He held those seeds in his hands, and something inside me pulled me forward. I wanted to know more. And I gathered those seeds. I gathered as many as I could and said that I could gain all the wisdom from my past and gather courage for my future with just one simple seed. Within a few years, we moved to the Berkshires. And just like Abandio, we were determined to grow and to change and somehow find our fullest potential. This seed contains all of the genetic information that it needs to grow to its fullest potential and to perpetuate into the future. This seed knows that in order to grow to its fullest strength, that it must first ground itself in the spring, when the earth is awakening and we are emerging from a long New England slumber, sometimes feel distant, we feel emotional, and even awkward. But if we ground ourselves, if we stand true to who we are in this very moment, we can awaken with fresh eyes and an authentic curiosity of ourselves. For me, 15 years ago, I was ready to awaken to connection. I was ready to feel like I was a part of a community, a contributing member of a community. And it was that driving force that led us to grow and expand our garden. Now, with the fullness of summer coming in, there is vitality and vigor in the air. And these plants, they love to grow amongst friends and neighbors. They seek out every nook and cranny. We too like to spread out. We connect with friends. We seek out adventure and possibility. And like these seeds, we find that having these people around us and the fullness of life and sunlight and warmth with us, we are able to be complete. The coolness of the nights begin, and the calmness of fall starts to settle in. Plants are in their fullest moment because it is at this time that they are sharing and bearing their fruit. And these fruits are a home to seeds, to hope and possibility of the future. So plants reveal themselves during this time. They show their truest colors, and they shed what no longer serves them. Fall is a time for us to consider, what can I let go of now that no longer serves me? With winter, the inward pull becomes stronger than ever. A seed outer layer, literally called a seed coat, protects all of the nourishment and the potential for the future. This is a time that all nutrients are gathered. It's a time of restoration. We too gather ourselves during this time, and we can reflect on the vitality and the vigor, the abundance, the surrender of the seasons before us. It's no longer a time to ask questions because we know our truth. When Abandio set foot on this soil over 100 years ago, he was young, curious, and scared. This seed was not only his family's lineage, but the lineage and possibility of the future. He had a purpose by planting this seed. Now, through the work, the choices, and the work that I do every day, a place of knowing that my potential lies within every step that I take. I have started a business that grows food for my community, and I teach people to have a deeper understanding of our soil and our earth, this precious earth that we all get to participate in. I have a family now, and I get to teach them every day what it means to plant seeds within their life. I'm learning to let go of what does not serve me. I've had the opportunity just recently to be able to share these seeds with a man who extracted seeds from a vault in Syria. We swapped, and I knew that what he was handing me was in an effort to preserve the dignity, the beauty, and an abundance of a community in strife. A few years ago, I had the distinct honor of traveling to Rwanda, and I shared these seeds with the people there. They shared seeds back with me. And in that moment, when we stood together, there was a key phrase that was uttered in their day-to-day lives that resonated with me in a new and powerful way. Tyringham. Tyringham. We are all in this together, you and me. And I encourage you to hold a seed in your hand, whether it's this seed or one that you hold in your mind's eye. Let this seed be a reminder that every day you have an opportunity to be the fullest you can be. Let this seed be a reminder of the gifts of the seasons, of the awakening, of the abundance, of the surrender, and of the pause. This seed is a part of you. Where do you have the courage to grow?